Hi everyone, it's Evelyn, and in this week's video we're going to go over my fall bulb order from my wholesale supplier Van Noort. Now it's a beautiful day. It's cloudy, so it's not hot, it's not cold, and as you can see by the ocean in the background, it's not even windy. So I thought I'd sit on the deck and as I went over the orders. So first order is, the first thing I've ordered in the book is tulips. The Helmar tulip, 100 for $37. Now, the reason I'm ordering the Helmar tulip is because I found my customers like to buy tulips that have striations in them. Solid pink, solid red, solid yellow, just doesn't sell. The ones that have some interesting variations in the tulip bulb do sell. And because I don't sell them in bouquets, but rather in pots, I sell tulips that can perennialize. So those are the Darwin type tulips or the Triumph type tulips, the ones that are just usually the single bulb. And I do 3 bulbs in a pot for $10. Now, if they don't sell, I can just put the pot out for the leaves to die back, store them in a quiet corner for the rest of the summer, bring them out in November and put them with my new bulbs that I've planted up to overwinter, and have the leftover bulbs ready to sell again for the following spring, which is what I had to do this year. Not because people weren't buying them, but because instead of having the usual 3 or 4 week blooming schedule, we went straight from winter straight into summer like everybody else in this neck of the woods, and all the daffodils and all the tulips opened at one time. Well, I still had the same amount of buyers in that time period, but I had way too many pots that were blooming in that time period. But that's okay, because I do them in pots and they can come back for sale next year. That's one benefit of only buying perennializing tulips, because of course the multi-headed peonies or doubles, they don't come back. Now the ones that I do have left of my tulips, I have 34 pots left, which is about half of them. So to double that amount, just by buying 100 of those Helmar tulips, I will have another 33 pots, which brings me back to the number of pots that I want to have. Of the ones that I have left, I have 2 silver cloud, 6 whispering dreams, 5 Antoinette, 5 lemon chiffon, 1 red impression, 2 salmon impressions, 1 flamingo prince, 1 fire wings, 6 ballerina, and 5 beauty of spring. So those Helmar ones, I think, will add a nice little open niche for all the ones that are left over that I will be selling. So that's what I'm buying only for tulips for next year for the spring sale. So the next thing that I have that I'm buying in this catalog in order are hyacinths for the first time. Now, I haven't bought hyacinths to sell up at my flower wagon before, but I do of course have them in the garden, and I know that they do really well in this climate and come back looking as good as new for the next bunch of years. So I'm really excited about trying to sell hyacinths up at the flower wagon as well, just for an extra little flower. And they come before the tulips, so I might even be able to get the flower wagon up at the stand a little earlier. So the reason I'm using Jan Boss is the color. I think the blue hyacinths, the white hyacinths, the pink hyacinths, they're pretty common. The yellow hyacinths, because there are yellow hyacinths, if you can see them right here, I don't think they would be a popular color to sell. But that beautiful raspberry red, I think, is going to be a really good color. And there's 75 of them that I'm getting. Is that right? Nope, 50, sorry, 50 for $36.50 Canadian. So, oh, what did I call them? Jan Boss? They're not called Jan Boss, they're called Woodstock. And 50 will give me, divided by 3, about 17 pots. 2 and 10. No, more than 17 pots. 3 goes into 5 once with 2 remainder. 15 pots, less than 17. So I'm going to have 15 pots of those. If they don't sell, I'm more than happy to put them in the garden because I do love hyacinths. I personally don't like them as a cut flower. I find that as soon as they're cut, the smell becomes overwhelming. So I like them out in the garden. But anyway, that's what I'm going to try those for this upcoming spring sales. Next year's spring sales, 2024. Next in my list from the Van Noort Fall Catalog, I'm getting 3 different types of alliums. The first one on this list is Ambassador. The Ambassador alliums have a 7-inch bloom. Now, I had in the garden, you probably saw them in my garden tours and in some of my bouquets, a large round purple allium. I don't know which one it was. It came in a bag of mixed of whites and purples, so I have no idea which one it is. But I do know that Ambassador is one of the more popular cut flower farmers use in their cut flower beds for putting in bouquets, etc. So I'm going to try that one. It has a 17-inch bloom, as I said, and I'm getting 15 of them for $79.50. Now the reason I'm only getting 15 is because I do have the large purple globes, well, medium-sized purple globes already in my garden. So I have about another 15 or so of those, and that'll give me about 30. And 30 should be good for the season that they're blooming, I think. I may decide to buy more next year. Next on the list of alliums that I'm getting is Globemaster. So Globemaster are those ones that have the really big heads. They have 10-inch blooms. I'm going like that. That's of course way more than 10 inches. 10-inch bloom would be like about that. Now those are not for bouquets. Those are for selling as single stems. I'm getting 30 of those, and it's going to cost me $192. Now, I'm going to lose money on those as well as on the Ambassadors in my first year because I'm going to sell a single Globemaster for $5, but it's costing me a little more. I think it's 6 something that it's costing me for each individual one, but that's okay because in the second year, and I know they grow well in my garden because I've done the test already with the alliums that are in my garden. In the second year, they're not going to cost me anything. So as a cut flower farmer, you can't just look at one season. You have to look at future seasons as well. So if it costs me $6 and something this year, and I'm selling it for $5, next year I'm selling it for another $5, that's $10. Now I'm ahead $4 without any extra work because it's in the garden and it's done. And then of course every year after that, it's just bonus with the $5 each head each time because it does come back every year based on my experiments with the alliums that I have already growing in the garden. So that's I'm really looking forward to those. I'm growing another allium, and this one I literally bought because I was looking at it in the catalog and I thought, oh, that is so cool. Its full name is Sport of Sphericiphalon, but it's actually called Hair, and it is just cool. These bulbs are not expensive. I'm getting 15 for $46.50, so that's about a little over $3 a bulb. And they're strictly for putting in bouquets. I can just imagine them. I haven't seen them in real life, but I can just imagine them coming out of the tops of bouquets with those cool little, I don't know. I'm really looking forward to those ones. I hope they don't disappoint. Those are the alliums that I'm getting. So then I'm going to turn the page. And the next one in my list of things that I'm going to buy on here is the Anemone Rainbow Blueberry. By the way, if you're enjoying this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't, because it really helps my channel both for the like as well as the subscription. The other thing that really helps my channel is if you leave a comment below. So I really appreciate it if you did that. And tell me which of the ones that I'm buying is your favorite, and which of the ones you maybe wouldn't buy. And yeah, just get the conversation going on my fall bulb order. Anyway, back to the Anemone Rainbow Blueberry. Now first off, you might remember that when I said the 10 flowers that I'm not going to grow one of them was anemones. And I had a change of heart on them because I wasn't going to grow them again. I didn't even bother digging them up to store them, and we're in a really wet winter climate. And yet they came back. And I thought, oh my goodness, they came back. That was effortless. Now, I didn't have very many of them, but they came back. I am going to dig them up this fall so that I can divide them, because the clumps are looking quite a bit bigger from what I actually planted. And that was the other thing. One little corm from last year is now quite a good sized clump. So I'm going to dig them up so that I can divide them up and get more plants out of that. And I'm going to add to the mix the anemone rainbow blueberry, which is supposed to have really long stems, good for cutting. I got 75 of them for $51. So wholesale, they're a whole lot cheaper than buying the corms retail, which I had done previously. If I have too many, I'm also going to start potting them up, because I did notice in the garden centers they will sell one in a 4-inch pot for $4. Well, that means, as with my dahlias, once I start having too many of them, that can be another potted plant that I offer for sale up at my wagon, and as well at that time the farmers market will be open. So I'm looking forward to that, which is why I've decided to add them back into my list of cut flowers that I'm growing. I chose the anemone rainbow blueberry simply because I absolutely love that blue center on the white anemone, and I think that will look really, really cool, especially paired with the blue anemones, as well as paired with what blooms at the same time would be bluebells, and I can't think of what else would blooms blue at that time, but it doesn't matter because it's mostly white with just the blue centers. So just let you know, I got a blue hat on, but there's a lot of other colors in my top. It doesn't have to be all blue. Anyway, I'm really super looking forward to growing anemones again. So the next and final one on my list, because I only ordered 7 different things, is a daffodil. And the daffodil that I ordered is Electris Split Cup Narcissus. This particular daffodil is actually not that cheap, even wholesale, but I just think it was beautiful. I decided that I'm not actually going to pay a whole lot of attention to the price since they're wholesale, because before I was buying them retail. And even though this is a more expensive wholesale one, I'm getting 75 for $71.25. It's still cheaper than when I was buying them retail, potting them up 3 per pot and selling them that way in 1-gallon pots up at my stand for $10. And I was still coming ahead on that. So I didn't feel the need to go for the standard 50-cent bulb in that case. And I really wanted to get this one because I just thought it would add a really good splash of orange and white. It's a really cool looking one, so I'm hoping that will sell really well. And again, as with my tulips, I have daffodils left over from this past season, and I had 31 pots left, so I'm getting a 75, so that'll be another 25 pots, which will give me a total of 56 pots. And the ones that I have left, I have 2 original poets, 8 pipit, 9 thalia, and 3 cocapelli. Now thalias are usually really popular. The only reason I have so many left is again because of the weather. I mean, they bloomed and finished all within days. They were drying up in the absolute heat that we had in May. We had a heat wave for May and most of June. There's no heat wave today, yay! But May, which is normally high teens, we were getting, like 30 degrees. Which in Fahrenheit is somewhere just below 90. It's like 88 or 89. And I think we actually went up to 33 one day, which was like 91 or 92 degrees, something like that. Just unheard of for May. May was unbelievably hot and unbelievably dry. So the tulips and the daffodils, they really couldn't handle that explosion of heat. They're much more suited to cooler and wetter weather. So that's the order that I placed. And the interesting thing about the order is, because it's a wholesale order, I had to put in a minimum of $500. And that's really all I wanted to spend, just $500. I have no desire to spend thousands and thousands on bulbs. It's not for my flower wagon, and where I live, for my flower wagon, which is where most of the bulbs will be sold, because the farmers market doesn't open until mid-May. It's not going to be a place where I'm going to be selling thousands and thousands of dollars worth of bulbs. I've done it for enough years now that I know that 60 pots of each of tulips and daffodils is about what's good for me, and that's all I wanted to do. And then I would have to add in other stuff, and I wanted to think really carefully about what I was going to add in, because you just don't know if it sells, and you don't know what the weather's going to do. So those 7 different things that I ordered, the tulip Helmar, which is a mid-season tulip, 100 of those, the Woodstock hyacinths, 50 of those, the split cup Electris narcissus, 75 of those, the blueberry anemone, 75 of those, 30 of the Globemaster Allium, 15 of the Ambassador Allium, and 15 of the Hair Allium, all added up to $513.75. I think that was pretty good management of my budget if I wanted to get as close to that $500 minimum order as I could. Now all I got to do is wait for that order to come. I'm really excited about that. So that's my fall order for the or my order now for the fall, for the bulbs that will arrive in the fall. And I hope you enjoyed this. Again, if you haven't already, give it a thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't, and leave a comment below. And next week we are probably going to be doing sunflower bouquet recipes, because I'm picking about 3 sunflowers a day right now, and that will of course only just increase as the days go by. So I'm really looking forward to doing some sunflower bouquet recipes. And my yarrow is coming online, and of course I have the bachelor buttons, and I still have the ranunculus. What else is coming online? There's a few other things. I'm trying to remember what they are. The daisies are getting ready to open, and oh yeah, I've got my white astilbe is opening up, so that's exciting. Anyway, that'll all be in the sunflower bouquet recipe, so stay tuned for that, and we'll see you next week. Bye.